If dinner ideas got you looking and your favorite caterer isn't booking, you can always stop by to see what Ma's cooking. Welcome back to What's My Cooking? So the emails are flooding in and someone asked for a bread recipe. So I'm going to give you guys a really simple, no knead bread recipe. And yes, you need to do it at least 12 hours in advance so it can rise. Use a Dutch oven, anything about 4 inches high. I don't really know what I'm doing here, but 4 inches, that seems like 4 inches. 4 inches high. So let's go ahead and get started. You just need 4 things. I'm going to use 3 cups of flour, so it's already in my bowl here. I'm going to use a teaspoon and a half of salt, so 1 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Just put it in there.
1.5 teaspoons.
Yeah,
of salt.
did I say that right? Okay. And then I'm going to use a full teaspoon of yeast. Go ahead and you can use a half a teaspoon or a full teaspoon. I'm doing a full because I like it bubbly. And just mix or marry all of those dry ingredients together.
Wait, so that's like if you add more yeast, it makes it more bubbles?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh.
And it's also if you're going to freeze something, which maybe if we do a pizza recipe, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so those are all married together.
You can stop saying married.
We're going to take 1 1/2 cup of warm water and we're going to just pour it right inside.
You're not going to marry it in there?
They're getting divorced. So we're going to go ahead and mix them together. And a little bit about this. When you're making bread, a lot of times you want this really doughy bread that you can handle. This is not that kind of bread. This bread is going to be a little bit more moist and wet in the bowl. And the reason for that is because of the high content of water inside this bread, you are going to get a super crispy crust. So go ahead, and once this is all mixed or married together, we are just going to throw some saran wrap on top of it and let it sit on the counter for 12 hours. You can even do 16 hours. So let me show you what this looks like to let it rest. All right, come on over. So this is what it should look like. And if you touch it, it's a little gooey. So that's fine. You want it to be gooey, remember that. So I'm gonna throw some plastic wrap right on top. Look, you can kind of see through that. And we're gonna leave it on the counter for overnight, 16 hours. That's it. You are done. I'll see you all in 12 to 16 hours. Bye-bye. Okay, so it's been, I don't know, 16, 18 hours. The dough has risen, and we're gonna go ahead and get it ready to throw in the oven. Make sure you preheat your oven and throw whatever you're gonna use into the oven also so it preheats with it, lid on.
What do you preheat the oven to, Mai?
Sorry.
450.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna shape this dough. I'm gonna keep the plastics. I'm gonna throw that on top while the oven is going. Now, oh, I should have put a little flour on. One moment, please. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the flour just right here. So the best thing to do is when you're going to take the dough out, have your hands slightly wet. It'll help from your hands sticking because it's going to be super sticky, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put this flour across my parchment paper that I'm going to throw in the Dutch oven. And I'm going to go wet my hands, okay?
How wet do you need to get it?
Just run them under water, okay? So let's go ahead and scrape the sides. Be really careful. You don't want to like have the dough fall too much because it's been rising all overnight. Okay, oh, here it comes. Look at that. So if you wanted to earlier, you could have also mixed in some nuts or anything. And at this point, if you were going to throw them on the bottom, turn it over, get the nuts all over. But I'm not going to do that So I'm just gonna kind of shape this into a dough, really. I mean, into whatever I want it to look like. That looks great. That's all I had to do. And throw this plastic wrap back on top as my oven is preheating. And then I'll show you how to carefully put it in your Dutch oven. Give us 5 minutes. So how are you doing today? That's good. I'm gonna do some homework after this.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to my fans! My fans! Okay, the oven went off. Let's go grab our Dutch oven. It's very hot. Make sure you have your mitts. Oh God. Okay. So it is really hot, and the lid is really hot also. So you want to make sure that you don't burn yourself. Also at this point, if you have anything else that is a high wall, you can use that too. So anything with the lid, heavy bottom is better, so like a cast iron or something. So let's take this plastic off, okay. And then let's just put it in the parchment paper. It will not burn. It'll brown, but it won't burn. Just drop that in there, like so. And then get the lid right back on. We're gonna keep this in the oven for 15 minutes at 475. So it's in the oven at 450 for 30 minutes with the lid on. Then, once your timer goes off, go ahead and take that lid off and drop the temp to 350 and cook it for another 15 minutes. It should be really nicely golden, crispy brown on the top. All right, fingers crossed. Okay, it's ready. Get your mittens out. Oh dear. It's hot. Let me turn that stuff off. Okay, so you can't cut into it just yet as much as you want because the steam will just give you a facial, all of those things. So you don't want that. Let it rest for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna take it out. It's fine. Oh, it's a little, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And then I'm gonna move this over back to the stove because I don't want to burn myself. So let's have this sit out for about 5 minutes before we cut into it. But look at that, it looks beautiful. Now it doesn't have that same rustic look on top, and probably because I didn't score it. Or just didn't want to do it, but it looks beautiful. Let's give it 5 minutes. Okay, it's been rested. Wakey, wakey. Listen to that. Okay, so I've made this before when we would make our own homemade mozzarella cheese. I would use the whey inside of it for the water, as it added a little bit of a sour flavor to it. Also, when we used to make our own homemade butter, we would do honey butter on it. Oh, it's delicious. I want to do it, but it looks beautiful. I got off on a tangent, I'm sorry. So let's cut this and try it. Let's see. Oh, it's still really hot, so. Oh, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. Oh.
Oh man.
Look at those air holes. They look so good. It's all squishy. Okay, I'm gonna try to take a bite. It's hot. I'm gonna bloat on it because I'm a professional.
Do you want to let it cool? Like we can stop filming and okay.
I'm not gonna take a huge bite. Hold on.
How is it, Mai?
Yum! It's really good. It's, it tastes like homemade bread. Well, I'm gonna go get some butter and some cheese and use this on some, oh yeah, this would be really good with a little bit of goat cheese on it, with some like jam on top of it. Oh, okay. Well, till next time, just, click, and subscribe to see what's gonna be on next on What's